All right, back here at Mummer Machine 2.8, getting the short block going together. Had a guy in the comments on one of the videos ask me if I would like document the build of this engine, and you know, the truth is I don't know that I have time to document the truth of, or not the truth, but the progress of the whole build, and I don't know that the world's patient enough to actually see what it really takes to assemble an engine. But you know, the only thing what I kind of figured I would do is if I saw anything that was strange, anything that was out of the normal, I would at least bring it up. So if you've never put one of these together, you'd at least have, you know, some things to look out for. So you know, the first thing is obviously you have to put the lifters in before you put the heads on. That's important. You know, they have a left and a right head gasket, and the main thing behind the left and right head gasket is the oil holes and the water holes. So when you get your gaskets on right, the cutout will make the oil hole line up and the water ports in the back will be open. That's the whole deal behind the left and the right head gasket, because when you put the head on the other side, the oil hole shifts to the front of center, and on this side, you know, the oil hole shifts behind center. If it was a V8, it would be, you could make them the same because this would be evenly spaced, but because it's 3, it's odd. So lifters, the head gaskets. Now the real reason I'm making this, the real reason here, I'm gonna sit down, is this this tin plate timing cover thing. Like this is definitely a strange thing, right? This engine overall is extremely simple. It's a very simple engine. It's a very good engine to do on a first rebuild, but the whole tin plate with the double gasket with the spacer and the O-ring trick, that's definitely not how Americans do it. That ain't how we do it around these parts. So I thought I would just talk about that for a second, because it's a little bit complicated, and I'm having to slow down a little bit and think about it. So, you know, basically when you put your cam in, and you torque the thrust plate on. You know, you can't put the cam gear on until you have this tin plate bolted on. And there's really only 2 bolts that hold it in the interim while you're in this stage. So what we do is I use a gasket cinch product. We've used it for a long time to gasket dressing. We put a little bit, before we put this on, put a little gasket cinch on the block, and then obviously you got to figure out which way the gasket goes on, but we put a little of the same gasket cinch on the back of that gasket, and then that helps you put the gasket up here and get it into place, and it'll stay real nice. Now when you go to put this plate on, okay, these plates have slits beside the water holes, so in case it were to develop a leak, it's supposed to leak outside of the engine and not in the engine. Okay, that's intentional. But because these slits are here, these legs have a tendency to get tweaked and bent, and so it can make your life a little hard as far as getting everything lined up. And so what I did on this thing is I got my base, the first gasket on with the gasket cinch, and I got it to set up and stay. And then from there, what we did is I put some ultra gray silicone on the backs on that gasket, and we then put it up here with the 2 bolts. But when you put these 2 bolts up here, there's really no pressure, right? This is flimsy. This will bend around because it has the slit. So I just took some blocks before it had the sleeves in there, and I just put some pressure on it and tried to get the sleeve, you know, or the gasket to to kind of adhere to the silicone to get the plate to lay flat. Now, then, I mean, the last thing you got to kind of look at is, you know, getting these things in here so that they'll sit flat. I had to break this loose because I didn't realize how bent this plate was. And when I had the holes lined up in my silicone, it was pinching off the gasket here and it wouldn't let it go in. So you can see the holes line up decent, but you can kind of see the space is tight on the bottom, loose on the top. So what I ended up doing was getting a tool like this. Looks kind of like a backwards needle nose, and then having to hold it down here in place and then try to expand it. Long story short is when you put this whole tin plate menagerie on here, you're gonna have to go a little bit slow. Really make sure things are fitting. If you have to do any straightening or realigning, take the time to do that. This is probably one of the truly strange things about this engine, and I've never built one of these either, so I'm kind of going through it for the first time with, like, some of you, I mean, many of you guys have built a couple of these, but I'm not a big aficionado on the 2800. So anyway, I'm fighting through this a little bit, but I've kind of got things tweaked around now. Kind of got my alignments. I had to make some new alignment sleeves. I just made them out of aluminum because mine were pretty rotten. Other than that, I mean, that's about it, you know. But once you have to get the engine this far, you know, with your sleeves and your tin plate and your thrust plate, before you can put the cam gear on. And then it's a good idea to paint the back of the tin plate before you bolt it on, I guess I would say. But anyways, that's it. If I see anything else that I think is strange, you know, the engine's just really simple. Has like one main oil passage, one oil plug in the back. You've got these couple little plugs for your gear oiler that you have to make sure you get clean and all that. But it's a really, really simple little engine. It's kind of a neat piece. So anyway, hope this helps you guys, and I probably won't make any more videos on this thing until we get to the dyno, unless something comes up that I just think you guys ought to know. All right, man, have a good one. See ya.